Uh, Hello everyone. So today we're gonna start with a new chapter known as comparative statement. Okay, comparative statements. So let me start with the meaning of comparative first. Say for example, you have appeared for an exam or a test and you got your results or you got your marks. Okay, now you'll take these marks to your dad or your mom or to your parents. Okay, what your parents will directly do, they will start comparing. Okay, they will start comparing. Now what with what they would compare, they need certain base to compare with. So they will either compare with your past results or they will compare with your friend. Okay. When they compare with the past result, your previous result, that is known as intra. That means they are comparing with your marks. So you are being compared with yourself with regards to time. Now when your parents compare your marks with your friend, then that becomes inter. Means there is another person at your same class, at your same level, okay, who is being compared with you. Having said that, the financial statements, the financial statements are also subject to such comparisons. Okay, such comparisons. And this comparative statement is nothing but a tool, is nothing but an accounting tool or analyzing tool used by the management, okay, to understand the information in the financial statement and also to take decisions. Okay, so now let us understand the comparative statement in a detailed manner. Okay, so let us see what the note has to say. So a comparative statement is an art of presenting financial statement, that is income statement. Income statement means statement of profit and loss and balance sheet. Okay, these are compared with 2 or more years of the firm. And why are they compared? Because it helps to assess the weak and strong points of the business entity. Okay, now these comparisons may be related to different periods of the same organization, that is known as intra-firm comparison. And this comparison can be done of a different firms but for the same period, that is known as inter-firm comparison. Okay, this is also known as a horizontal analysis. Okay, this is a part of a management information system. What is a management information system? It gives the management a regular update about the information whatever the management wants. Okay, they are the internal document, and this comparative statement does not constitute the part of financial statement. Okay, these are internal documents prepared by the business to take decisions and do not form the part of financial statement, because financial statement consists of balance sheet, statement of PL, and cash flow statement. Okay, so let us study further. So what does a comparative statement shows or exhibits? It exhibits the absolute figure of 2 or more years, okay, in the item appearing in the financial statement. The changes, first they will show the absolute figure and then they will show the changes of the absolute figure, whether it has been increased, decreased. Okay, it is compared from the base year, and these figures are later converted in percentage, that is known as percentage changes of the absolute figure. Okay, so we are expecting absolute figures of 2 years, then changes and the percentage changes from the comparative statement. So let us go further and understand the objective or the requirement. I mean, like, why would a person or why would a management require to prepare the comparative statements? So what are the objectives or purpose of preparing comparative statements? Okay. However, the following are the objectives. The first one is to know the nature of changing influencing financial position. So whatever is the change, for example, the current asset was 10 lakh in the previous year and now it is 15 lakh. So there is an increase in the current asset by 5 lakh. Okay. So to see the trend, excuse me, to see the trend of changes in the financial statement, okay, and why are they changing or what are the factors influencing that changes, to understand that we make comparative statements. Next, to understand or to know the weakness and the soundness about liquidity, profitability, and solvency of the business. By liquidity means how much cash we have, how much liquid cash we have. Okay. The profitability means how much profit the business is earning, whether the profitability is increasing, decreasing. Okay, what are the expenses that are affecting the profitability. The solvency means the future viability of the company, whether the future of the company is at stake or maybe there's some big hurdles. Okay, the firm is not able to pay the interest, dividend. So all those things are seen from the comparative statement. And finally, these are used to forecast and plan for future. Okay. Having said that, let us now understand the advantages of comparative statement. The advantages of comparative statement are these changes in the component of asset and liability can be easily known at a glance through comparative balances. So whatever changes, like I said, current asset has been increased by 5 lakh. For example, current liability might be decreased by 2 lakh. Okay, the non-current liability might be increased by 5 lakh. So these changes can be easily seen from the comparative statement. This is the first advantage. The second is the comparative statement of profit and loss helps to identify the trend of changes in revenue from operation, expenses, and profit. So obviously, in the statement of profit and loss, whatever changes in the trend can be seen. Okay, can be easily recognized, understood, and also you can quantify the amount of change or the percentage of change in comparative statement. Okay. The third advantage is it helps in inter-firm comparison, which in return helps the management to evaluate the performance of the firm in relation to other firms. So when you compare two firms, okay, and everything is formatted in a similar manner, okay, the comparison becomes easier. Therefore, the comparative statement prepared by two firms can be easily compared, and the management can then identify its strength and weakness compared to the other firms. The last advantage is it helps in determining the long-term and short-term solvency of the position of the firm. Okay. Solvency means whether the firm will be closed down in the future or the firm will not be closed down in the future. So that kind of thing can be seen from the comparative statement. However, this comparative statement has some disadvantages. Okay, what are the disadvantages? The first disadvantages are when a particular item of the financial statement does not appear in the base year but appears in the current year, meaningful computation of percentage change in absolute figure cannot be taken. The meaning of this disadvantage is, suppose a comparative statement is done for 2 years. So say in previous year there was no long-term borrowing. Just for example, there was no long-term borrowing, and the current year there was a long-term borrowing of 10 lakh. So since there is no amount or nothing in previous year and current year, there all of a sudden there is an item appear in the current year. So the computation, I mean, like the percentage change computation, that's because we are recording the change. So the percentage change computation could not be seen. Why? Because if the item is not present in the base year, the changes cannot be seen. Okay. The second one is the comparative statement analysis cannot exhibit, okay, meaningful disclosure when uniformity in accounting concept and accounting convention is not maintained. So accounting concept and accounting convention means, just I'm giving a small example. Like there are different ways of calculation of method of calculation of depreciation, like reducing balance method or written down value method, or and sim straight line method. Okay, so if a firm is charging a straight line method and another firm is charging a WDV, written down value method, in that case the comparison between the two firms will not be a viable one, because they're not consistent with the, then the method of charging or the using of accounting concept or convention is not same. Okay. The third disadvantage is the comparison becomes meaningless. Why it becomes meaningless? Because the size of the firm is different. So this is very common. Say there is a fat guy and there's a thin guy, and we ask them to fight. Obviously, we'll understand the fat guy will win because he's stronger, he's fit. I mean, like his strength is more than the weaker one. So in such cases, you know, the comparison becomes meaningless when the size of the firm is different. Yes, a thin guy can fight with a thin guy, and then we can say that there's a healthy comparison, and then we can predict. But once one side is heavy and another side is light, there's no purpose of comparison. So that is another disadvantages of comparative statement. The last one, and which always is there, it does not take into account the effect of changes in price level. Okay, changes in the price level is not maintained. The comparative statement might express misleading disclosure if certain external factors like market condition, business risk, etc. are not taken into consideration. Obviously, these things are not taken into consideration, and hence the comparative statement analysis might be misleading. So these are the disadvantages. Okay, fine. So what we have studied till now is we have studied the meaning of comparative statement. Okay, then we have studied the objective and purpose. Then we studied about the advantages, disadvantages. Now we'll be studying the type of comparative statement. How many types of comparative statement are there? So this comparative statement are made for the financial statement, and these financial statement are statement of profit and loss and balance sheet. So therefore the comparative statement is made for statement of profit and loss and balance sheet. So let us start with the comparative statement of profit and loss first. Okay, what is it? A comparative statement of profit and loss is a horizontal analysis of income statement. It shows the operating result, that is the net profit or loss, of two or more accounting period, so that the absolute changes of the amount and the percentage may be known. So if there will be two columns of say previous year and current year amount, and then we'll compare with both and we'll see how much they are changing and the percentage change. So we'll see that in the comparative statement of profit and loss. Okay, however, these um, there are some objectives to prepare this. The first one is to analyze the income and expenditure for 2 or more than 2 years. Then to analyze the increase and decrease in income, the trend, okay, in rupees and also in percentage. So we see the trend of increase, how much we have increased in our direct expense, indirect expense, finance cost, how much depreciation and amortization, what are the changes in rupees as well as the percentage. And the last objective is to review the business operation in last year and its likely effect on the current year operation. Okay, how do we prepare? It is very easy, as we already know the format of statement of profit and loss. The format remains the same. I mean, the list of the format remains the same. However, the columns are added. There were note number and current year and previous year. Here it is just the opposite. Okay. So, however, I will discuss this in detail. So we start with writing comparative statement of profit and loss. Obviously for the year ended. For balance sheet we'll write as at. Okay. But for statement of profit and loss we write for the year ended. Whatever year it is given, whatever 31st March, whatever year it is given. Then in this case we will make 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The first column is for particulars. The second column is for previous year. If you remember and go back, we have written current year in the financial statement. But since this is an analysis, this is a comparison. Okay, this is analysis and comparison. So in this case, we write the opposite. Okay, always remember, in real financial statement, uh, in real company's report, in the real company reports of financial statement, which consist of balance sheet and statement of profit and loss as per schedule 3, current year is recorded first, but here for the comparison purpose, for the sake of analysis, we write previous year first and current year later on. Okay, here we write the amount. So for example, the revenue for operation is 100 and this is 150. So that means there is an absolute increase of 50 rupees and the percentage is changes 50%. Okay, say other income was uh, 80 and and the current year was 60. That means there's an absolute decrease in 20. So the decrease we'll write it in the form of bracket. Okay, and how much is the change? So we will find the percentage change, that is absolute change by the previous year into 100. And how much is that? That comes to 25%. Okay, that comes to 25%. And this 25% is a fall in the percentage. So we'll write it in a bracket. Okay. So absolute change, the formula of absolute change, or we record absolute change, CY minus PY. So in first case here, the CY was 150 minus 100. So it was positive 50. And in this case, it was 60 minus 80. And therefore you see it's negative 20. And the formula of finding percentage is absolute change that we get it from here divided by previous year that we get it from here into 100. So in the first case it is absolute change is 50 divided by previous year amount is 100 into 100. So it's 50%. In the second case the absolute change is 20 and the previous year is 80. So 80 into 100 and therefore we get 25%, and we write minus because there is a fall in value. Okay, we do it same in all the cases. We write this, then we find the changes, and then we find the percentage. Same thing here. Okay, and then we write all the amount here, and then the changes increase or decrease, and then we write the percentage here. Okay, one more time I'll just explain. I hope you know the format. As I told you, format is very important here. You'll see the format is very important in all, the section B of the accountancy. The format is very much important in all the chapters and related. So therefore, first we write the particulars, then the previous year amount and the current year amount, which will be given in the question. Just copy it. Then you have to compute this one. How do you compute this one? The formula is current year minus previous year. This amount minus this amount, whatever. If it is positive, write positive. If it's negative, write in bracket. Okay. Then you have to compute this one also. The formula of computing the percentage change is absolute change divided by previous year amount into 100. Absolute change you get it from here. Previous year amount you get it from here. And into 100 you get the percentage. Okay. I hope you understood this. If you have any doubt, you can comment below. Okay. Then we'll study about the comparative balance sheet, because we have done comparative statement of financial profit and loss. Now we'll do comparative balance sheet. Okay, what is the comparative balance sheet? Comparative balance sheet is a horizontal analysis of balance sheet, okay, in which each items of asset and liabilities for two or more accounting periods are recorded, and their absolute changes and percentage may be known. The objective is to measure the financial position, okay, to analyze different items of asset and liabilities in absolute rupees, the change and the percentage, okay, and to review the past financing and investing activities of the and the effect and the financial position of the business. Okay, how do we compute it? The format remains, however, the same. Just we have to write a comparative balance sheet instead of comparative statement of profit and loss, and then as at whatever time it's mentioned. Again, there will be 5 columns: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. The column heading of the column remains same: particulars, previous year amount, current year amount. Absolute change. How do you get absolute change? CY minus PY. Then there's percentage. And how do you get percentage? Absolute change divided by previous year into 100. Okay. The format, however, remains the same as you have done in the first chapter. Okay. We just write the amount here, find the absolute change by using this, and then find the percentage change by using this one. Okay, I hope you have understood. Okay, if you still have a doubt, you can comment below. However, we'll do a question on this. Okay, and if you have a doubt, you can obviously ask. Thank you.